Our next guest is on, so I'm going to turn it over to Chris. Chris is going to kind of take the lead on this one.
You there, Brandon?
Yes, sir.
Congrats on the win this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know if you like it more or not, but I sure do love it when the cars are topless. The racing to me is just way more exciting.
I know when we take the wings off, my heart beats a little bit faster in staging because there's a lot of unsureness there. So you don't really know what's going on, what's going to happen. You just got to get out there and get rolling. It's like racing a go-kart. You always had to pee before you got going, and then you get rolling and everything kind of settles down and you're good to go.
So how is Hendry without the wing compared to with? Because to me, it seems like it would be a better track without it than with it.
I like it both. They've came a long way with their surface. I love it, right? I won. But it's just different every time we go back. 6-7 years ago, it was always right around the bottom, and it was like, man, if Ken wasn't trying so hard, I don't know if I'd make this trip again. And all them guys have really gotten together. He put some new dirt down, got all the rocks out of it, and it actually holds moisture, and you can actually run up top, which is where I prefer to be most times. And then Saturday night it was completely opposite. It was slick and sandy in 1 and 2 right around the tires, and then hammer down off of 3 and 4. It was fun. But it's been fun with wing, non-wing. Sprint cars are sprint cars. They're fast.
And let's talk about Ken Kinney for a minute. You mentioned it. Him and Candace are probably the two hardest working people in dirt track racing. Ken's never gave up on that place. And a lot of the troubles he had early on, a lot of people would have gave up, and he's just put his head down and kept digging.
Oh, Ken's awesome, man. He never stops promoting. He's still promoting when we're at the track. I've never seen anybody, do as much for us. And unfortunately, the drive down there and, everything that's going on, the car count wasn't as good as he deserves. And Ken knows, he has realistic goals and everything that he has down there. And, he's a businessman. He's trying to make it work, trying to make it happen. He's got, he's putting all the right people in charge to, put on good racing. And, good racing brings fans. And he loves sprint cars.
Right on. I don't think I've seen a bad race down there yet. I wish I lived closer. It's just 3 hours is a long haul for me to get down.
I wish I lived closer too. I got home at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm still recovering today.
Oh man, yeah, it takes the life out of you. So I want to compliment you on something that I notice, and that's self-promotion. I don't know that I've seen anybody else that lays it out the way you do, and also the way that you help other cats when they ask you questions. You always seem to jump in and help. If people out there haven't seen it, he lays out the car, he color coordinates the car and says, here's what I have available. You can put it here, and just does a great job of promoting yourself. And I think it's awesome in the way you help other people with that too.
That's genius.
Oh yeah. I just, an empty spot. It's like an empty seat. It's the most expensive one. If you can't sell a spot for $2,500, sell it for $2,000, $200. If people, if you don't put a number with something, everybody's always going to think it's too expensive. So if you can try to set yourself some realistic goals, and you can get somebody to buy a couple tires, because nowadays that goes a long ways. You can put businesses on it. I started like a GoFundMe because family always wanted to be involved. So I was like, well, here's the way you can pay me. Well, with how technologies went, you don't need that anymore. You can PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, you can use everything. So give them a spot on the car for $100. Does it buy a lot? No, but when you put a bunch of people together, it helps. And every little bit helps when keeping guys like me racing. I'm an electrician during the week. I'm not I'm tired today because I still had to wake up and go to work this morning. And I love racing. I love sprint cars. I love seeing people get involved in the sport. And when you see somebody struggling, don't just pick at them and cuss the lap car when you're getting to them. Go talk to them. Maybe they're just crossed up in the car. Maybe their car is so jacked up you couldn't drive it. So talk with these guys and tell them how important specific parts of the car are to be right, and make them faster, because if they're faster, the show's better. if they're faster and more under control, you're safer, and open wheel, man, it can get dangerous real fast.
Man, I love that. And I love the fact that you're helping out the other racers, because we can't afford to lose racers. We really can't. We need every one of them on the track. And I don't care if they run last every week or they're a lap down every week. We need every single one of them to be, to continue what we're doing.
We're a dying breed. There's too much to do in Florida other than just go to racetracks. I tell people all the time, I got a picture of Eldora here. When you go up north, you drive hours through cornfields and soybeans and all that other stuff. They have nothing else to do. We got beaches and bars and theme parks and everything else. So, everybody's always like, oh, I'll go to the racetrack next week. Well, there's not always next week. We got to support what we got. And, you can be sprint car snobs or late model snobs or asphalt or dirt. It doesn't matter. I mean, racing's racing. Everything can be great. One of my favorite divisions to watch right now is actually the 4.6s. Like everywhere you go, they got like 25 of those things, and they're beating the crap out of each other and racing 3 wide. They're not just demo derby out there. They're actually getting it. And, and that's a great entry division to get more people coming into the sport.
You are absolutely right.
How excited are you you just drove probably 5 hours down to Hendry, but how excited are you to have Ocala opening back up in your backyard? And she said we're going to have a sprint car race there.
Man, it's great. That's 20 minutes away. I can actually hang out after the race, and I can have somebody else drive me home. I could drink a beer or two. You go down to Hendry County, and you don't even get to celebrate. Like we won, and it was me and Dad, and Dad, and my brother is all that was there this weekend. And we get out of the tech shed, and it's like, all right, let's load up, or I'm hungry, I'm ready to go home. And you just pack up as fast as you can. You don't even talk to anybody, and you're gone because, by the time you get fuel and get food, I mean, I didn't lay in bed until 6 o'clock in the morning. Ken does the best he can to put on a quick show, but sometimes, you got to have track that has moisture, and sometimes it's too wet, and sometimes it's got to dry out, roll out. I mean, it takes time.
Yep. And we need to shout out to your wife. You're a newlywed, and she's extremely supportive and awesome. And I think you're real lucky to find somebody that supports you that way too.
Yeah, she had to hang out with family members this weekend for a baby shower and her mom's birthday, but she was still out there Friday night helping load everything. I mean, she's out there all week with me if I'm out there, helping me load everything up. She was waking me up Sunday at 11 saying, hey, let's get this car clean. Let's get this thing rolling, get it out of the trailer, clean my backyard, get that thing out of the middle of the yard. She's always there to help put a foot up my butt to help me get motivated. I mean, she's sitting here, but she'd kill me if I turned the camera. She's all cuddled up and staying warm.
That's all right. We appreciate her. So give a shout out to your sponsors. Let us know who's taking care of you.
Oh, I got an awesome sponsor that I met, Russ Noise Roofing with the Rhino Roofing Systems. Where I work is an awesome supporter of mine with Sirocco Electric, certified air conditioning. I have Crossroad Interlock and Big Brick Paving. I used to have some of the awesome sponsors that you guys have talked about, but they've been helping a lot of tracks recently. I got personal supporters that help me, just family members. I mean, some of those are huge. And then you got Nick Manikas that helps keep the cost of racing down the best he can. I mean, and there's always room for more. So if you want to join a team, hit me up on Facebook or anything else like that. And well, you missed your shot of getting on the first t-shirt design, but hopefully once these ones get here and we can sell them out, we'll get another one. You can be on that one.
Awesome. Who designs the car? Because you guys always bring a sharp looking car.
I got a Galaxy Note, and I kind of find an old picture of the sprint car from the side, and I scribble stuff all over it, and I point stuff blue here and stars there and this and that, and then I give it to Eminem Graphics and Design, which is actually one of our competitors. It's Scott Zimmerman. We race against Harley, and they got a spot up in Jacksonville, and he makes it all happen. He sends me proofs, and I'm like, nope, I don't like this. Change that up. I don't like that. Change that. And next thing you know, we got a really good looking hot rod. Yeah, Russ is a big contributor to it, because if he always remembered me, I was always bright orange and fluorescent green. But then Russ came on our team, and he's like, hey man, we're patriotic and everything's red, white, and blue. So he handed me a picture of a truck, and he's like, I like this truck that we got wrapped for work, and I would make it look the best it could on a race car.
Fantastic. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah. What's your schedule look like for 2022?
We get to finally go back to Putnam here in 2 weeks, March 19th. I'm going to be doing some more non-wing racing with the Southern Sprint Series. I'm going to run as much Top Gun stuff as I can. And then when rainy season gets here, I'll probably head north and try to actually race instead of just driving to the racetrack and coming home. And then, so we're going to be racing at Putnam. We're going to be at Volusia. We're definitely going to be at Bubba's. I'm going to be up at Black Horse in Georgia. We're hoping to hit a couple Milton races. I'm going to be driving a couple cars for a couple other gentlemen and hopefully hit some USCS races. And maybe if we're successful in doing some stuff with that, we can travel a little further. If I have any open weekends, I'm open to drive about anything that's competitive. Late model, I don't care if it's got fenders if I don't got to pay for it. And then hopefully get my kids started racing. My son's 8, my daughter's 7. So I started racing at the Bull Ring when I was 7. So, get as many sponsors to pay for my racing so I can put my own paychecks towards their racing.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just saying that's awesome. Your life's about, you thought racing was expensive. Now it's about to get twice as bad.
Yeah. My dad made a horrible mistake when I was young. I'm about to just follow his footsteps. And then we race at Hendry County. We race there a ton, and we race at East Bay. I mean, I pretty much only race dirt. That's all I can. I always tell people, yeah, I can only afford to be one type of redneck, and it's a racing kind, and I can only afford one race car. But if I can get anybody else's, I'd give it a shot.
I love that.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the year. And I'm sure we'll see you out there.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Good luck, rest of your
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's a good
I just
dude. Every time you talk to him, he's just he's a nice guy, and he's genuinely willing to help other people, given his time. Because I've just seen it from, noticing it on Facebook, people asking him questions when he posts that. And then I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the mini sprint guys, but used that formula and picked up a bunch of sponsors. You can't ask for more than that.
Absolutely.